The massive Centaurian warship Stellar Crown emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Sol system, its crystalline hull catching the distant sunlight. High Admiral Vexthor stood on the command bridge, his silver-scaled skin reflecting the soft glow of holographic displays. Behind him, a crew of the Empire's finest officers worked in practiced precision, their movements betraying no sign of the anticipation they all felt. This was supposed to be a routine first-contact mission. The Centaurian Empire had absorbed hundreds of civilizations this way. Arrive with overwhelming force, demonstrate superiority, and watch as another world joined their grand coalition. But something was different about this system. High Admiral called out Senior Sensor Officer Krylak, her neural tendrils twitching with confusion. I'm detecting unusual energy signatures throughout the system. They don't match any known patterns in our database. Vexthor's inner eyelids flickered with interest. Elaborate. The third planet, Earth, shows signs of advanced civilization, but she paused, running another scan. Their technology appears to have developed along a completely different path than any we've encountered. The High Admiral moved to the main viewport, watching as the blue-green planet grew larger in their view. Their preliminary scouts had reported a young species, barely a century into their space age. Yet these readings suggested something far more sophisticated. Incoming transmission, announced Communications Officer Zexra. Origin, Earth Defense Command. Display, ordered Vexthor, straightening his ceremonial armor. A holographic screen materialized, showing a human female with dark skin and sharp eyes. Her uniform was simple, but carried an undeniable authority. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth Defense Command. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourself. Vexthor allowed himself a small smile. The standard opening to what would surely be another routine integration. I am High Admiral Vexthor of the Centaurian Empire. We come to offer your world the privilege of joining our grand civilization. Resistance is declined. Admiral Chen interrupted, her voice carrying no trace of fear. Earth is not accepting applications for colonial status at this time. Please withdraw your vessels from our space. The bridge fell silent. In 3 centuries of expansion, no species had ever simply declined. Vexthor's outer membrane flushed with anger. Perhaps you misunderstand, Admiral. The Centaurian Empire spans 12,000 worlds. We do not require permission to. And perhaps you misunderstand us, High Admiral. Chen replied coolly. Earth is not interested in joining your empire. This is not a negotiation. You have 30 minutes to withdraw from our system. Vexthor's anger gave way to amusement. Or what, Admiral? Or you'll learn firsthand why the last 3 species that tried to conquer Earth failed. Chen's image vanished, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. High Admiral, Krylak called out urgently. New energy signatures detected. They're everywhere. Across the solar system, hidden installations were coming online. Automated defense platforms emerged from crater shadows on Mars and Luna. Stealth satellites decloaked in perfect formation around Earth. But most concerning were the readings from the asteroid belt. Massive energy signatures that defied Imperial classification. Impossible, whispered Zexra, watching as her displays filled with new contacts. Their technology. It's beyond anything in our records. Vexthor stood rigid, his training warring with his instincts. The Empire never retreated, never showed weakness. But as he watched the coordination and sophistication of Earth's defensive grid, he realized this was no primitive world awaiting civilization. Plot a withdrawal course, he ordered, ignoring the shocked looks from his crew, and prepare a full report for the Imperial Council. It seems, he paused, watching as Earth's defenses tracked their every move, we found something new in the galaxy. As the Stellar Crown retreated from Sol system, Admiral Chen watched from her command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. They'll be back, her XO commented. Of course they will, Chen replied, a slight smile playing at her lips. But next time, they'll know what they're dealing with. Humanity isn't interested in being anyone's subjects. It's time the galaxy learned that. Deep within the Ganymede Research Station, Dr. Maya Patel stood before a wall of holographic displays, each showing different aspects of Project Aegis. The massive underground facility hummed with activity as scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to enhance Earth's defensive capabilities. It had been 2 weeks since the Centaurian Empire's first contact, and no one doubted they would return. "Status report on the quantum shield array," Maya asked, her eyes fixed on the complex mathematical models floating before her. Dr. Marcus Wong, her chief engineer, pulled up a new set of diagnostics. "The modifications are complete. We've successfully integrated the recovered alien tech from the Proxima incident with our quantum field generators. If their weapons are anything like what we've seen before, they won't penetrate our defensive screen." Maya nodded, remembering how humanity had learned its lessons the hard way. 15 years ago, the first attempted invasion had caught Earth unprepared. But rather than submit, humans had done what they did best: adapt, innovate, and turn their adversaries' technology against them. "Admiral Chen is incoming for the briefing," announced the facility's AI, its voice echoing through the cavernous lab. Minutes later, Admiral Sarah Chen strode into the room, accompanied by representatives from the United Earth Defense Council. Her presence commanded immediate attention, but her eyes showed the weight of command. "Dr. Patel," Chen greeted, "show me what we've got." Maya gestured, and the holographic displays merged into a single, massive projection of the solar system. Countless dots of light represented Earth's defensive network, each one a technological marvel that would have been impossible just 2 decades ago. "Project Aegis isn't just a shield," Maya explained, zooming in on various installations. "It's humanity's answer to imperial expansion. We've placed quantum-linked defensive platforms throughout the system. They can't be jammed because they don't rely on traditional communications. They can't be hacked because their quantum AI cores operate on principles the Centaurians haven't even discovered yet." "And the weapons?" asked Counselor Ibrahim, his voice carrying both hope and concern. Maya's expression turned serious. "We've developed something new. The Centaurians use crystalline technology for their ships. Beautiful, but predictable. Our gravitic disruptors can shatter their hulls without harming the crews inside. We can disable their entire fleet without a single casualty." Admiral Chen studied the display intently. "They won't expect that. Every species they've encountered probably tried to match their firepower. But we're not playing their game." "Exactly," Maya agreed. "Humanity's greatest strength isn't our ability to deal damage. It's our ability to think differently. The quantum shield doesn't just stop attacks. It redirects their energy into our own power grid. The more they hit us, the stronger we become." Suddenly, the facility's AI interrupted. "Priority alert. Long-range sensors detecting multiple hyperspace signatures. Estimated arrival: 6 hours. Signature patterns match Centaurian Empire vessels." The room fell silent. This was the moment they had been preparing for. "Numbers?" Chen asked, already moving toward the command interface. 37 capital ships, over 200 support vessels. They've committed a significant portion of their third fleet. Maya watched as Admiral Chen's expression hardened with determination. "They still think this is about firepower. They haven't realized that humanity's real advantage isn't in our weapons. It's in our minds." "Launch the satellites," Chen ordered. "Activate all defensive platforms. And Dr. Patel, deploy your special project." Maya nodded, entering a complex series of commands. Throughout the asteroid belt, hidden fabrication facilities sprang to life. Thousands of autonomous units, each carrying technology that would revolutionize space warfare, began moving into position. "You know," Maya said, watching the deployment unfold, "the Centaurians call themselves an empire because they think in terms of conquest and submission. But humanity, we built all this not to conquer, but to protect. That's why they'll never understand us, and why they'll never defeat us." As Earth's defenses activated, a message was broadcast across all frequencies, translated into the Centaurian language. This is your final warning. Earth is not your colony. Earth is not your conquest. Earth is humanity's home, and we will defend it. Choose wisely. The next few hours would determine whether the Centaurian Empire would learn this lesson the easy way, or experience firsthand why challenging humanity's resolve was a mistake. Either way, the age of Earth being seen as an easy target was about to end forever. Grand Marshal Tenthar stood aboard the Imperial flagship Eternal Dominion, his expression unreadable as he watched the massive fleet emerge from hyperspace. The Sol system spread before them, a testament to the Empire's folly in sending merely a scout force earlier. This time, they had brought enough firepower to subjugate 10 systems. All ships report ready, Grand Marshal, announced Fleet Commander Reichel. The humans appear to have detected our arrival. Of course they have, Tenthar replied, his voice carrying centuries of military experience. Let them see the price of defiance. Begin the approach. The Centaurian Armada moved forward in perfect formation, their crystalline hulls creating a breathtaking display of refracted starlight. 37 capital ships, each massive enough to house a small city, led the way. Behind them, support vessels moved in coordinated patterns, ready to unleash devastation upon any resistance. In Earth's Lunar Command Center, Admiral Chen watched the approaching fleet with calculated calm. They're following standard Imperial doctrine, she noted. Impressive show of force, intimidation tactics. Multiple targeting locks detected, reported Defense Coordinator Lai Wei. They're preparing to fire. Chen's fingers danced across her command interface. Initialize Aegis Protocol. Dr. Patel, are you ready? From Ganymede, Maya's voice came through clear and confident. Quantum shield grid is at full power. Special projects are in position. We're ready, Admiral. The Centaurian fleet reached their designated attack range. On the Eternal Dominion, Tenthar gave the order they had all been waiting for. Open fire. Show these humans the might of the Empire. Thousands of energy beams lanced out simultaneously, a barrage that could have reduced a continent to ash. They struck Earth's defensive screen and disappeared. No explosions, no damage. The energy simply vanished. Impossible, Reichel whispered, checking and rechecking his readings. The energy, it's being absorbed somehow. Before they could process this development, Earth's response began. Throughout the solar system, hidden platforms activated. But instead of returning fire, they emitted complex gravitational fields that caught the Centaurian ships in an invisible web. What's happening? Tenthar demanded as his mighty fleet found itself unable to maneuver. Report. Some kind of gravitational technology, his science officer responded, frantically analyzing the data. It's like nothing we've ever encountered. Our crystal matrix hulls are starting to resonate at a quantum level. From seemingly empty space, thousands of small objects suddenly appeared, surrounding the Imperial fleet. Each one was a marvel of human engineering. Autonomous drones carrying technology that defied Imperial understanding. Admiral Chen's voice echoed across all frequencies. This is your only warning, Grand Marshal. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your ships cannot escape. But we are not like you. We don't seek to destroy or conquer. Stand down, and we can talk as equals. Tenthar watched in growing horror as hairline fractures began appearing across his fleet's crystalline hulls. Not from weapons fire, but from precisely calculated gravitational resonances that turned their own technology against them. Impossible, he repeated, echoing his subordinate's earlier disbelief. We are the Empire. We have conquered thousands of worlds. We cannot be defeated by humans. Chen's voice carried a hint of satisfaction. You made the mistake of thinking we would fight like everyone else you've conquered. But humanity's strength isn't in following established patterns, it's in breaking them. To demonstrate her point, several of the autonomous drones projected holograms showing the fate of previous invasion attempts. Each time, Humanity had not just survived, but had grown stronger, incorporating and improving upon their attackers' technology. Your empire spans 12,000 worlds. Chen continued, but you've stopped innovating. You expect every species to follow the same path, use the same tactics, and ultimately submit. We chose a different path. As if to emphasize her words, the quantum shield grid suddenly pulsed with energy. The same energy the Centaurian fleet had fired minutes ago, now transformed and redirected. The Imperial ships found themselves completely immobilized, their mighty weapon systems disabled by frequencies that shouldn't have existed. Xenthar, facing the first true defeat of his centuries-long career, finally understood. Humanity hadn't just prepared for this battle, they had revolutionized warfare itself. His mighty fleet, the pride of the Empire, had been rendered helpless not by superior firepower, but by superior thinking. Well, Grand Marshal, Chen's voice held no mockery, only quiet confidence. Shall we discuss terms? The Imperial Palace on Centauri Prime buzzed with unprecedented activity. For the first time in 8 centuries, the Grand Council had been called into emergency session. The crystalline spires of the capital city reflected the light of 3 suns, while inside, the Empire's highest authorities grappled with an unthinkable reality: defeat. Supreme Chancellor Vexnor watched the holographic replay of the Earth encounter for the 100th time. The mighty Third Fleet, rendered helpless without a single shot fired in anger. The humans' impossible technology, defying every known principle of Imperial science. But most disturbing of all was the mercy they had shown. They let them go. He mused aloud, his scaled fingers tapping rhythmically on the ancient crystal throne. They could have destroyed our fleet, but they let them go. High Counselor Zarathil, her ceremonial robes shimmering with embedded data crystals, stepped forward. The humans have requested a formal diplomatic meeting. Not here, not on Earth, but on neutral ground, the mining colony of Ceres in their asteroid belt. A deliberate choice, noted military advisor Kexlar. Close enough to Earth to remind us of their power, far enough to show trust. They understand symbolic gestures. Meanwhile, on Earth, the United Defense Council was having its own heated discussion. Admiral Chen stood before the assembled representatives of humanity, her uniform bearing new medals for the bloodless victory. The Centaurians are sending their Supreme Chancellor, she reported. This isn't just a diplomatic mission. It's a fundamental shift in their worldview. For the first time, they're treating with another species as equals. Dr. Maya Patel, newly appointed as Earth's Chief of Scientific Development, pulled up a holographic display. We've detected increased quantum communications throughout their empire. Their member worlds are watching this closely. How we handle this moment could reshape galactic politics. Then we should press our advantage, suggested one counselor. Demand concessions, reparations. No, Chen interrupted firmly. That's exactly what we shouldn't do. We didn't defend Earth to become like them. We did it to show there's another way. The council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Marcus Rodriguez, Earth's chosen diplomatic representative, stood up. Admiral Chen is right. The Centaurians built their empire on the premise that might makes right. We have a chance to show them something different. That true strength lies in cooperation, not domination. Back on the Eternal Dominion, now repaired and serving as a diplomatic vessel, Grand Marshal Xenthar prepared for the upcoming negotiations. His defeat had taught him humility, but also curiosity. Show me the analysis again, he ordered his science team. How did their quantum shield work? Chief Scientist Niril manipulated the holographic display. That's the fascinating part, sir. They didn't just copy alien technology. They reimagined it. Where we see limits, they see possibilities. Their shield doesn't just defend. It learns, adapts, grows stronger. Like they do, Xenthar mused. Perhaps that's why the Empire never encountered anything like them before. We've been looking for civilizations that follow our path while they've been forging their own. As the diplomatic delegations prepared to meet on Ceres, news spread throughout the galaxy. The undefeated Centaurian Empire had met its match, not in warfare, but in innovation. Subjugated worlds began to whisper of change. Client states watched with growing interest. In her private quarters on Lunar Base, Admiral Chen reviewed the proposed diplomatic framework with Ambassador Rodriguez. "They're bringing their top scientists," she noted, "not just diplomats." Rodriguez smiled. "Of course they are. We didn't just show them we could defend ourselves. We showed them new possibilities. That's what really shook them. Not our strength, but our creativity. And now we show them what humanity does best," Rodriguez replied. "We innovate, we adapt, we grow, and most importantly, we share. The galaxy's about to change. Admiral, the age of empires is ending. The age of collaboration is about to begin." As the diplomatic ships approached Ceres, carrying representatives from both civilizations, the watching galaxy held its breath. This wasn't just a peace negotiation. It was the beginning of a new era in galactic history. Humanity had done more than defend its borders. It had shattered the very foundations of imperial power. Not with weapons, but with ideas. Not through conquest, but through innovation. The question now wasn't whether the empire would change, but how far that change would reach across the stars. 5 years after the historic confrontation between Earth and the Centaurian Empire, the Sol system had transformed into a symbol of galactic cooperation. The former mining colony of Ceres, where the first peace talks had taken place, now housed the Interstellar Council of Sciences, a testament to humanity's vision of advancement through collaboration. Dr. Maya Patel stood at the observation deck of the newly constructed Harmony Station, watching as ships from dozens of worlds moved through the bustling space lanes. Among them, the distinctive crystalline hulls of Centaurian vessels no longer carried weapons of war, but instead transported scientists, diplomats, and cultural exchanges. Quite a view, isn't it? Admiral Chen, now serving as Earth's representative to the Galactic Council, joined her at the window. "Sometimes I still can't believe how much has changed. The Centaurians' latest proposal for quantum shield enhancement is impressive," Maya replied, bringing up a holographic display. "They've taken our basic principles and evolved them in ways we hadn't even considered. When you combine different perspectives, the possibilities are endless." Below them, on Ceres's surface, the sprawling complex of the Interstellar University dominated the landscape. Students from across the galaxy studied there, learning not just technology and sciences, but the fundamental lesson that humanity had taught the stars. True strength lies in diversity of thought. In the Imperial Palace on Centaur Prime, Supreme Chancellor Vexnor sat with his successor-designate, young Zareth, watching a similar scene unfold. The once militant capital had become a center of cultural exchange and technological innovation. "Tell me again," Zareth requested, "about the day everything changed." Vexnor smiled, remembering his own transformation from a supporter of military might to an advocate for cooperative progress. "We thought we were the pinnacle of civilization," he began. "We had conquered thousands of worlds, absorbed countless cultures. But we had stopped growing, stopped learning. We became so focused on enforcing our way that we forgot there could be other ways. And the humans showed us. They did more than show us. They forced us to question everything we believed. Their defense of Earth wasn't just about military technology. It was about thinking differently. Where we saw power in uniformity, they saw strength in diversity. Where we sought to dominate, they sought to understand." Across the galaxy, the ripples of change continued to spread. Former imperial worlds had begun developing their own unique technologies, encouraged by both Earth and the reformed Centaurian leadership. The Galactic Exchange Program, initiated by Ambassador Rodriguez, had created networks of cooperation that spanned hundreds of star systems. On a space station orbiting Jupiter, Grand Marshal Xenthar, now serving as the head of the Joint Defense Initiative, worked alongside human military leaders. Together, They had transformed the Empire's former conquest fleets into a cooperative peacekeeping force. Another group of worlds has requested membership in the Alliance, reported his aide, using the new term that had replaced Empire in official communications. Voluntary membership, Xenthar emphasized, still amazed by how this new approach had accomplished what centuries of military might could not. They join because they want to contribute, not because they fear conquest. In Earth's Lunar Command Center, now serving as the headquarters for the Interstellar Defense Network, Admiral Chen reviewed the latest reports with satisfaction. The quantum shield technology that had once defended Earth alone now protected dozens of worlds, freely shared with any civilization that pledged to use it for defense rather than aggression. The latest survey results are in, her AI assistant announced. Galactic Stability Index at an all-time high. Scientific cooperation has increased by 300% in the past 5 years. Cultural exchange programs are oversubscribed on every participating world. Maya, finishing her inspection of the Harmony Station, reflected on the journey that had brought them here. "You know what the most remarkable thing is," she said to Chen. "We didn't just change the galaxy. We helped it grow. The Centaurians thought they were building an empire, but we showed them how to build something greater, a community." As the three suns of Centauri Prime set, casting their light across the transformed galaxy, countless worlds celebrated not the power of conquest, but the strength of cooperation. Humanity had done more than defend its borders. It had shown the galaxy a new way forward. The age of empires had ended. The age of unity had begun. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, new civilizations were emerging, looking up at the stars not with fear of conquest, but with hope of joining a galaxy that had learned to value diversity, innovation, and cooperation above all else. Earth's victory hadn't just been about superior technology or military strategy. It had been about offering a better vision for the future, one where strength came not from domination, but from collaboration. And in that vision, every world, every species, every unique perspective had something valuable to contribute to the greater whole.